Let's talk about the big North American grappling from the weekend. I suppose we can start with Takeover, since that was chronologically the first thing. Ty Dillinger and Eric Young opened the Takeover show. I watched this match and I was just like, this isn't bad, but what are the prospects of these men?
Well, I think Ty Dillinger certainly is more of an upside than Eric Young. Ty Dillinger at least has a hook. He has the 10 thing that crowd.
Yeah, that won't get. That'll run out of steam so quick.
But he's also quite an adept wrestler. He's quite good.
Yeah, that does. So was Tyler Breeze. Look what happened there.
Yeah, but I think Ty Dillinger has more of a what's the word?
Well, the word you just used, right, which I think is accurate. You said he's adept, right? That is, you know what the wrestling parlance is for that? He's a good hand.
He's a mechanic.
He's gonna get on the main roster, and people will chant 10, and WWE will love him because he makes other people look good, and he's gonna spend his days making people look good, which is fine. It's a career, but and Eric Young. I mean, like, Eric Young is not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I look at him and the other dude whose name I can't remember, and I'm just like, ugh. I would much rather Nikki Cross and Big Damo just be a team on their own than with these two jabrones.
Eric Young has, I don't know how he's aged so quick. He must have aged about 25 years in the last 2 years.
That TNA will do to you, man.
He's got Hulk Hogan's body. He's got that leathery skin.
Has he?
Yeah, he's all leathery and weird. He's got a voice like a fart. His voice is, hey, I'm Eric Young. Weird freak voice.
Fucking brother.
He's got a Brillo pad on his head instead of hair. His upside is not, and he's probably, what age is Eric Young now? He must be about coming up on 40. Surely.
Both these lads are like 37. They're both like 36 and 37.
Yeah, but Ty Dillinger looks like he's, if this was Martin Freeman and Ricky Gervais, it would be Eric Young going, both in our 30s. Because
well, I don't know. I think Ty Dillinger, he doesn't look that old, but I feel like he could probably benefit from like wrestling in the standard definition age. I just feel like these days.
I think Ty Dillinger, he doesn't look old, and sometimes that's more important than.
I mean, he doesn't look old, but he doesn't look like a 20-something. Like, he doesn't look like Andrew Everett, just as an example, who looks like a child who just came out of school.
Yeah, but you don't want that either, do you?
True, fair enough. You don't want that either, but I think Ty Dillinger, while he doesn't look ancient like the fucking Undertaker looked yesterday, he definitely looks like someone who has just been in developmental for 10 years, which he has.
Well, I think ultimately, because of that, you have to kind of give him his chance sooner rather than later to do something with that.
That's fair enough as well, because he's been good for such a long while. Then
it feels like he's coming up to his peak as well in terms of fans kind of wanting him to succeed now.
Ooh. In
kind of an organic way, it like the whole 10 in the Royal Rumble thing, which we'll talk about. It felt like that was an idea that kind of grew pretty organically and then was delivered on, which was nice, and the fans were into it as well. So, not saying that it would be anything on the same scale, but he could almost have a very, very mini kind of Daniel Bryan style run of being someone that the fans can get behind the 10 thing in the same way, of the S thing. Now, he's nowhere near the wrestler, of course, Daniel Bryan was, but just as a little thing. I mean, can we not have a fucking babyface that people like? Come on. Doesn't matter if he's 37.
Yes. Yeah, fair enough. It's a fair question.
I think the bigger problem is that he's lost 10 matches in a row in NXT. He just loses every single match. And Eric Young beat him here in a, as you say, not a particularly memorable match.
I think 10 minutes was enough for us to discuss that match. Next. Roderick Strong and that other lad, La Sombra.
Yes, Andrade Almas. They had a good little match.
Fun.
Yeah.
I really like Roderick Strong. I'm glad he's getting a chance. He's another lad who's old, though, and another lad who... I mean, he has a certain charisma about him. I think it's good in, like, PWG and places like that where you can just get over by being a wrestler with a certain degree of charisma and intensity. But I mean, look, he just started. He's not in NXT that long, so I don't want to start judging too harshly. But like, are they going to put him on the main roster as good wrestler, Letterman jacket boy? I mean,
yeah, I've been obviously watching NXT every week, and I'm still in the stage where I'm kind of waiting to see what is his deal? Like, what is Roderick Strong? Because he came out during the Dusty Classic, which is months ago now. And he still doesn't really have any kind of character. His matches have kind of been okay. He's not had a great match. I think this is probably his best match since he debuted, honestly.
Yeah, I think this was a great match. So, although I mean, the heat kind of hurt it.
It was funny because
go on.
I was watching the UFC at the same time. You might have seen I tweeted out. I was watching the UFC and NXT simultaneously. It was funny because switching back, I was kind of, while the entrances were happening and so on, I was watching the UFC. And then I looked down and Roderick Strong and Almas were doing kind of chain wrestling. And for a second, I forgot that it was fake. And I was like, oh, he nearly got him there. Oh, hang on, this is a wrestler. I don't know why. But also, yeah, I had a problem with this match. It was the same problem that I had with the women's match, which I also really enjoyed, by the way, without jumping ahead. Is that the finish just kind of came out of nowhere, and it kind of just ended. It didn't feel like there was a real climax to the match.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to convey rhythm and stuff like that of a match when the crowd are kind of into it, but not really. I think that's kind of telling of how NXT is not a super hot thing right now, because you look at like their peak, which is maybe the first Brooklyn takeover, and it's like everything is just this red hot. Like you get the vibe that every single act on the show is over. Whereas this one, it's like nothing was shat on, but you had a match like this that could have been great, but they just didn't quite have the crowd on their side. Yeah, I like Almas a lot. I don't know what they're kind of going for with him though. Roderick is he's time tested. We know he's good. So interesting to see where they go from here. Yeah.
We then had the tag team title match. DIY versus Authors of Pain. Never thought I'd get a match this good out of Authors of Pain. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, DIY are tremendous.
They really are. They really are.
They're absolutely tremendous, and they made these boys look like $1 million.
Yep.
Yeah, Gargano. I mean, Gargano's like selling, and his babyface and peril routine is tremendous, and Ciampa just being a big killer going up against the two big lads was awesome. Yeah, it's going to be weird though. I mean, the Authors of Pain now have to kind of go have good matches with people who are not DIY, which might not be easy. But yeah,
good match.
I think DIY are better chasing anyway, so I don't really care that they lost super quick.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, great match, and they basically won clean too. I mean, it was a fairly decisive. They teased the finish they used on Revival, the double submission, and the AOP basically just powered out of it and then beat them. So, so they're going to work on their redemption story. I have faith it will be good. So yeah, after. Was the women's match next?
Well, Seth Rollins came out first.
Oh, yeah, it was a shoot.
And jumped up and down, and Triple H just had him taken away, and then that led nowhere.
Said bitch.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, he said bitch. That's how you know it's a shoot.
Yeah, he said, Paul, you bitch.
Paul, your little vanity project that you run with these geeks on shitty contracts. Come out here, or I'm not going to let you do any more matches so the fans can get themselves over with stupid chants and sing songs. and then he says, "Go watch BWG, everyone." That would
have been good, actually. That would have been like when Matt Hardy came out that time. Was like Ring of Honor, woo! But I thought this. I thought it was cool when I heard him speaking over the PA, and then they cut him in the rape. But that was cool. But then he
he did nothing. It was like he got to punch a few security guards. Like, ooh. I was expecting him. I was expecting him to beat the shit out of Triple H like mid promo, like mid. Are you ready? You know, that would have been neat.
It was funny because he had his little hood on, and he ran through the crowd into the ring. Why didn't he just run around backstage with his hood on and attack Triple H there? If he knew he was going to be there.
Well, it's an NXT event. They're keeping an eye out for long-haired, hoodied weirdos trying to get backstage to beat the wrestlers. You know.
Maybe.
So, you know, it was. Yeah, it was alright. It could have been better, but I thought it was a decent little idea. Then they had the women's match.
Yep.
Which I liked.
Oh, it was really good. Yeah.
I was not yet sold on Peyton and Billy, but I thought they did pretty good. And Nikki Cross is really, really awesome. I had not seen really anything of her at all, and I thought she was very, very cool here. I appreciated the booking of them like killing her off screen, for lack of a better term, so that they could do the finish of the match without beating her. I thought that was very, very cool.
It was. Yeah, it was really good. Really good match. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. Because I really don't think Billy Kay is really that good. Peyton Royce is okay. But no, it was good. It was good. Yeah, I like that they had it was a little wilder. They kind of fought around the arena, up through the table and so on. But like I said, also with the match earlier, the finish here just kind of happened out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, that was it. Fair enough. I would like to see maybe someone look a little bit closer to beating Asuka, or like that Asuka would lose without being pinned. But really, there was not a lot of that because Billy Kay and Peyton Royce didn't fight each other, which they wouldn't. Logically, why would they? But there wasn't even a tease of it, or once Nikki Cross was out, it was like a handicap match almost. So. And then we had the main event: Bobby Roode against Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT title. Funny that in one match, Bobby Roode has more chemistry with Nakamura than Samoa Joe and Finn Balor combined. Because I thought this was a really good match.
I thought the closing stretch was cool. I thought it was a bit long, the rest of it, and
I really enjoyed
it. There was lots of posturing and fan singing, and it's just, you know, I don't know. Bobby Roode doesn't do much for me.
No, I guess because I've seen so many times now Nakamura against Samoa Joe, with none of them really being great.
Yeah,
I like the one where he quote unquote broke Joe's jaw. I think that was their best one, but I thought this was better than all of the Nakamura Joe matches. Yeah, I quite like the pairing of Roode and Nakamura, and the longer it went, I thought the better it got. Towards where the end, I was totally on board with it, with the jumping knee on the ring apron and half crab, stuff like that. I felt like the injury thing. I felt like it was running way too long, but then they played that into a near fall that I bought, so I kind of felt like it played off. Even though while it was happening, I was like, okay, let's hurry on here a little bit. So actually, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good takeover show. I really liked the three matches on Nakamura, Roode, the women's match, and the tag match. I thought were all and the Almas match. I thought were all really good. It was quite a good show.
Yeah, it was not the best takeover ever, but yeah, it would be hard to call it bad with the solid action up and down the cards. Yeah, you know, NXT is always dependable for a takeover, although it does feel like it is a colder show than it was.
Oh, it is for sure. And I was hoping then, given what happened here, that Nakamura lost the belt. Joe wasn't on the show; he was just showing the crowd that we might have a little surprise NXT in the Rumble. You never know. But no, because we had to have Apollo Crews in it.
Yes, and Kalisto.
Oh god.
Speaking of the Rumble, let's talk about that.
Now, I only watched the title matches and the Rumble.
I watched all 6 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
And not only that, but as a lead-in, I also watched the 1992 Royal Rumble,
Woo!
which is great and is full of stars.
With a tear in my eye. Woo!
Obviously held in very high regard, the 92 one. It's crazy how much, like, every person who comes out is like a star, a legend. Although towards the end, it does get a little bit like, oh, the Warlord, the Berserker.
There's a few
Legends, you know.
Repo Man. Towards the end, it does. It's funny because the opposite of what happened in the 2017 Rumble, where they kind of pretty much kept everyone for the end. In the 92 one, it feels like towards the end they're like, oh, who else do we have backstage to throw out there? So, the 2017 Royal Rumble, there was a few pre-show matches which were not anything to shout, call home about. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi beat Alexa Bliss, Natalya, and Mickie James, where Naomi got the pinfall on Alexa Bliss, which was okay. Cesaro and Sheamus lost the tag team titles to Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in a match that had 2 referees for no real reason. And Nia Jax beat Sasha Banks clean. And I went, what? But they did it.
Oh, good.
I don't know. So that was a pre-show.
Not much to write home about on the pre-show.
None of the matches were that good, truth be told.
Bunch of jabronis on the panel as well.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, by the way, came out for a little promo before the show started proper.
Yeah.
His hair is clinging on for dear life. I'll tell you that much.
It's like him.
Why doesn't he just shave it? Why doesn't he just shave it?
Because, Barry, he's a cowboy man. So he likes to have his little ponytail, I guess. I don't know. It's terrible looking. It's properly gone. It's like he's like. I don't know if you remember. There used to be an old UK TV series called The Baldy Man. Do you remember this? Either of you?
Yeah.
No.
Shawn Michaels looks like a thin, baldy man, I suppose. Anyway, the first match proper was Charlotte Bayley for the women's title, which I thought would be great. And in fact, it was quite good. This is the first time I enjoyed natural selection as a finisher, because they did it on the apron and it actually looked like, oh, that looked impressive, as opposed to when it always looks shite. What do you guys think of it?
I thought it was a very solid match. Enjoyed it a lot. It's good action.
I think Charlotte is really good. Charlotte is really
much better than the Sasha Banks matches, to be honest.
Yeah. Shame that I was kind of pulling for Bayley to win.
Yeah, nah.
I didn't realize this thing they're doing with Charlotte as well, where she's unbeaten on pay-per-view. She's 16-0 on pay-per-view matches now.
Yeah, they're going to keep that going, I think, all year.
Have you not noticed that? Because they reference it all the time, but also they have you not seen everyone discussing how every time she loses the title, it's on Raw, and she'll beat someone. Sasha on.
I don't watch Raw. I don't pay attention to Raw really, so I kind of it's skip past me. I think she'd probably go to Mania, and then that'll be it. She'll lose at Mania. And then we had our first of our excellent matches. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns in a no DQ match with Chris Jericho in the shark cage.
This is a fucking tremendous match.
It was.
A lot of fun.
It was great. Yeah. They did have the shortcuts of, lots and lots and lots of weapons. But that being said, I thought Kevin Owens put on an especially good performance.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was bumping like a madman in this match. His splash to the outside was fucking crazy.
Frog splash through the table.
Yeah,
for sure. And the chairs he had set up in a little
chair mountain.
Chair mountain.
That was great.
Took a big drop through that, which looked like it sucked.
Yeah, I wonder if they kind of set him up in a special way that he knew they'd kind of break apart.
I don't think so.
I'm suggesting, is it fake?
Is he saying this wrestling thing might not be on the up and up?
I think they might have little tricks up their sleeve. That's what I'm saying.
It's not on the level.
This was good. Jericho, they didn't really need him out there.
Although I appreciated that they didn't have 50 million shots of him up there. It was like they raised him up, they had a couple of reaction shots, but generally, and they didn't even have him, like, they didn't even have wide shots where they were like 5 minutes of hard cam footage with Jericho above. It's like, no, they're just going to have a match, and by the way, he's up there.
I liked as well at the start of the match that they just attacked Roman Reigns instead of getting into the cage, because we were watching it here, and I said, if I was Jericho now, I wouldn't just go into the cage. The two of us would jump up and down on Roman Reigns' head, and then I get into the cage, and Owens could pin Reigns. Then that would be it. So I was very happy to see that. Oh, they logically they just did start attacking him at the beginning, because why wouldn't they? So that was good. The ending, however, bit of a strange one. Who shows up with Braun Strowman? Attacks Roman Reigns. Unprovoked.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they did something on Raw. The commentators mentioned that he speared him or something.
Reigns and Goldberg had apparently double speared Strowman or something.
Strowman doesn't want to pick a fight with Goldberg, baby.
It was all very odd given what would happen later in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so Roman Reigns has like 3 feuds going at the moment.
I suppose my reading of it is that, well, Undertaker's not going to be around until WrestleMania, which isn't for 2 months, so
he can wrestle Braun next month.
He'll wrestle Braun in the meanwhile.
Yeah, I think so. Although, I don't know what I hope for. I'm not on the Braun train the way a lot of people are. I think he's come on leaps and bounds, but I thought he looked a bit rough in the Rumble.
His facials aren't any good. Which I think is because he has a very small face.
I really liked. There's one shot that was like extreme close up of his face. His little eyes
exactly. If you do extreme close up, but that's the problem. Unless you do an extreme close up, you can't see his facials. Because his face looks like a bum hole with a face poking out of it. Yeah, he's all right.
It's funny because he just looks like a baby with a beard.
He didn't look that big either at points. Like, I don't know how big Ty Dillinger is, but when they were in the ring together, I was kind of like, he doesn't look like a giant next to him.
Nah, he's a big lad, Strowman.
He's big, but, there are plenty of big lads.
But yeah, the match was fantastic. I was not so sure that anything would better it on this pay-per-view. Little did I know what was coming up for us. But before that, we had Rich Swann versus Neville for the Cruiserweight title in a match that I also quite enjoyed. You didn't like it? I thought it was very good.
Boring.
I didn't think it was boring. I thought they worked pretty hard. I like Neville a lot. I like Rich Swann a lot, but 50,000 people didn't care, So.
But I think that speaks more about the Cruiserweight division, the state of it, than anything.
It is, and it's ridiculous that the Cruiserweights are having the worst match on the pre undercard.
Yeah, I mean that's really the state of
considering the quality of the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah. Coming off the heels of the Cruiserweight Classic, if you were told like, yeah, we're going to have a Cruiserweight title now, and they'll have a match at Rumble, and it'll be the worst match on the show. Well, maybe it's not the worst match, but certainly one of the, obviously, Nia Jax and Sasha Banks is the worst. It would not be one of the best 3 matches, for example.
If you just the main card, I think it was the worst match. Not by a long way, but yeah, it was.
So Neville won the title, so he's now the Cruiserweight champion. Do you think would that make any difference to how that division is perceived?
No, baby.
I think Neville is a little bit more polished performer, has a little bit more of a charisma, not a charisma necessarily, but he's got more of an aura to him, a little bit more of something. He comes off as less of a dweeb than a lot of the other cruiserweights. Like TJ Perkins and Rich Swann have a kind of flimsiness to them, I guess.
I never perceived it as a who's the champion problem. I really enjoyed TJ Perkins coming out of the CWC. I look, and I think evidence of that there have been booking failings is like, well, where's Brian Kendrick now? Where's TJ Perkins now? They've disappeared into the ether. I think Rich Swann is similarly going to disappear, and I think it's going to be a pretty bad indictment when in a few months it's like Neville is waning, Rich Swann is nowhere to be found. They're just like burning their way through these cruiserweights, and nobody's getting over, and every new champion is like the new potential savior of the division. But I'm extremely cynical on this whole division, so we'll see.
We then had AJ Styles versus John Cena for the WWE title in a match that I give a 10 out of 10 to.
10. Phenomenal.
It was brilliant.
Phenomenal.
Better than the SummerSlam match, I thought.
Oh yeah.
I think it had an even bigger kind of aura to it with the big crowd and everything. Like, this was a WrestleMania match. This could have been like a WrestleMania.
It's funny. I was thinking about that today. I think it's inevitable that our friend Big Dave, won't give it 5 stars. But I was thinking to myself, if this exact same match with John Cena winning the 16th world title, if that was the main event of Mania, I think he would give it 5. The fact that it was not the main event of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, I think will lessen it in his eyes. In my eyes, it doesn't lessen it at all.
Well, aren't you the bigger man, huh?
No, have you seen Meltzer's big arms?
Yeah, you best watch your tongue. You will fuck you off.
I thought, yeah. I mean, fuck it. It was amazing. It was an amazing match. It was excellently wrestled. Fucking, the finish was brilliant. The little roll over into the AA. They were both on top form. The story was there with the 16th time champion. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. It was brilliant.
There was a bit where Cena it looked like he was going to go for a Styles clash, but then he dropped him down into the figure 4.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
And that was a little call. I don't think the commentators even referenced it, but that was a little like Ric Flair reference there, given that he's going for the record.
Yeah.
And like AJ like fought out of it and turned it into an arm bar. That was great.
He should have done the Flair flip in the corner as well. And then shit his pants.
Wait, did Flair do that?
Have you not heard the story?
Should have got his arse out.
I've seen Flair get his arse out live in person.
But yeah.
I watched it like in Kildare or somewhere.
Yeah, the pub down the road.
Was it Shanae?
Yeah, it was actually. He was playing.
Is that what the it refers to? This is it.
Today, baby. Woo! Shitty. Anyway, so yes, this was tremendous pro wrestling. Absolutely tremendous.
I'd be surprised if this isn't my match of the year come December. I know it's early to say that, but I think it's the best. It's the best match I've seen in a year. If
it's the type of match that it's very fair to say that. So,
now I can't speak because I've not seen the other match, but I was watching Royal Rumble with my brother last night, and he's also seen the Omega Okada match, which I still haven't seen, and he said he preferred Styles Cena. So again, Big Dave, make it out what you will, buddy.
Yeah, I probably did as well.
There you go.
But they're both tremendous.
And Cena won the title, 16-time champ finally.
Yep.
So what I would like to see happen now is for Flair to beat Cena for the title and raise the record 1. So Cena then has Cena has then to get 17.
Great idea.
And then we had the Royal Rumble, a very entertaining Royal Rumble, but the more I think about it, this kind of stranger it was. I was thoroughly entertained the whole way through.
I was bored for most of it, to be honest.
Really?
Just the start. When you see Callisto come out and then Mojo Rawley, you just kind of think,
yeah,
this is just going to be killing time until...
Well, this is something that has been a problem the last few years with the Rumble, is just they have some no-hopers in there. I mean, I guess you could say that's going the whole way back since the start of the Rumble, but given how hard they were pushing, and it's really weird because they really didn't deliver on it, but they themselves were pushing on like the surprises of the Royal Rumble and all this, and really there was no surprises. Ty Dillinger, you could say.
The surprise literally everyone predicted.
Yeah, the surprise everyone wanted and they gave. But yeah, when you think like we could have Samoa Joe, and as we saw with Rusev at the time and Sami Zayn at the time and maybe Ty Dillinger here, someone from NXT showing up in the Rumble does not necessarily need to be a call-up, right?
No.
So why not have a Samoa Joe just as a one-off, and maybe you can bring him up in a few months' time, but Samoa Joe in the Rumble instead of Mojo Rawley or instead of Apollo Crews. You know, I mean, you have these entrances that you could use for like pops and to have intrigue and more excitement in the match, but instead you just go, oh, it's Kalisto, okay. And I feel like they need to cut as much of those out as they can, because yeah, like you said, Joe, it just kind of lessen the impact when you have goobers come out. Like we were all excited for like number one. Who's gonna be the number one? It was Big Cass. It was like, oh. And also they had like a 10-minute promo. I was like, okay, come on.
I hate that. Yeah.
I was ready for the Royal Rumble. I don't want to listen to these two geeks.
And like, also, we were talking about the Cruiserweight division and how well that's doing. Jack Gallagher, my God.
With his umbrella.
Came out with his comedy gimmick, hitting everyone with it. Did a one comedy spot with Jericho, and then he was the very first person in the match eliminated, and they called him Mary Poppins when he was thrown out of the fucking ring. Deader than dead, and he was the one cruiserweight in the whole match.
Well, Kalisto as well, but he's not in the division.
In terms of the actual division.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, embarrassing. So yeah, that they did. I remember, you know, they put the J-Brones up front, and I was like, well, to be fair, they've advertised a lot of big stars, and all the big stars they've advertised are incredibly limited and can't be in there for an hour.
Well,
so I was
did you see the pictures that have come out of the little cart they had? Because the ramp was so fucking long.
And it's funny because they hit it well, because like Braun Strowman would come out and he'd start clumping his way down to the ring, and then they cut to reaction shots of the wrestlers, and then he, off camera, got onto his little car and drove his little self down to the ring, and then got out, and then they resumed shots of him clump down to the ring. So that was pretty seamlessly done, to their credit. It was only after the fact that we all saw the car.
Yeah, that's mental. I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah. It looked like the Pope-mobile with the glass taken off.
Why didn't they do the Andre the Giant thing with the little rings?
I don't know.
Yeah, and they could have shown that on camera then.
Because I assume that's why they had it every 2 minutes instead of every 90 seconds this year, because the ramp itself was about a minute for people to come down.
They could have borrowed one of those rings they use in like British Indies. That's like 8 foot wide. Yeah, just use one of those to push Braun Strowman down to the ring.
Fucking get the OTT ring and carry Big Show down to the ring with it. But I tell you why they didn't just acknowledge it and have the little Andre ring, because it was only for the fat lads, not the actual. You know,
oh yeah.
Back in the good old days, it was just everyone was a big star who got.
It was funny because it was Big Show, Braun, Mark Henry, Bray, and Big E. Poor Big E.
Like Big E could easily sprint to the ring.
No, he had to get the little cart.
Like they had Baron Corbin sprint to the ring.
Did you notice? Well, they had Undertaker just appear in the ring. instead of walking.
Oh, well, yeah, because when did you see the state of him? I mean...
But also because you can't have Undertaker stand on a little car and get driven to the ring.
He could have come out on a motorbike.
Oh, there you go.
No, a little mobilized scooter. With a couple of Tesco bags.
Well, I tell you what, given how Undertaker was looking, he might have come out in a rascal and one of those little fat shopping cart things that Americans use.
Yeah, just like was original porridge, just anyway. So a bunch of geeks came in, and I was watching this going, well, I was like, obviously Goldberg's coming in at 30 because he can't do shite.
No, he didn't.
So yeah, I mean, there wasn't much by the way. That was the one major grievance I had, was that there wasn't much by way of surprises. It was like Ty Dillinger, and that was it. I mean, it was like everyone else you knew was coming in. No Finn Balor, no Samoa Joe, not no like Godfather type thing, like nothing like that. No. Which was a shame. So yeah, they had but they had their stories. Braun was okay in there. We talked about him already. Sheamus and Cesaro were all right in there. I thought I liked their little elimination.
Well, that's one thing I didn't like, is that they were in it because.
Why?
Well, just think about the logic, right? Why? By virtue of losing their titles, they somehow get to be in the Royal Rumble. Like, why is that a thing that is decided? First of all,
I don't know.
Maybe shouldn't maybe the winners of the match get in the Royal Rumble? Like, why were Luke Gallows and
because they're not?
But so what? Yeah, then that should. But sure, the Miz was it, and he's IC champion.
No, he's not.
Or Ambrose, excuse me. Miz.
Oh, yeah, well, he's also in. Yeah.
It was like, why did the losers get to be in the Rumble? First of all, it doesn't make any sense. And I just don't typically like when people who have matches already then be in the Rumble. Like, if that's the case, why didn't they have Daniel Bryan be in the Rumble that one year when he wasn't in it?
I didn't want to get cheered.
I don't know what you want me to say here, Lance. I mean,
I want that people who are not in, people who have matches then don't be in the Rumble. Unless it's like a Roman Reigns style swerve as it was here. But like Sheamus coming out, I was like, fuck Sheamus, he just had a match. That could be another spot that you give to a surprise.
I guess. Then we got to the home stretch where all the old dudes came out. Goldberg. So wait, before we get to Goldberg, actually, so all the jabrones were in the ring. Miz, Sami Zayn, Jericho. Jericho was all right. Ambrose.
The thing is, they were in there for ages, but they didn't do anything. Like, Sami Zayn was in there for 45 minutes, didn't eliminate anyone.
Yeah,
he was in there for half an hour, didn't eliminate anyone.
Ziggler ran down his new heel turn. He ran down House of Fire, super kicking everyone like a babyface.
Yeah,
Double D. Didn't do anything of note, and then yeah, like fucking idiot. Learn how to work, you fucking geek. You
just came out very Rybacky there, by the way.
Buy my new book.
One thing I thought was interesting, let me just say this as well, is that there were really only 4 people going into this match that they were really pushing as like the top guys. Was Strowman, Lesnar, Goldberg, and Undertaker. Okay?
Yeah.
And all 4 of them were made to look quite weak. Strowman got eliminated by Baron Corbin, of all people.
Yeah.
Goldberg... Okay, here's the thing. So, you have the Goldberg and Lesnar story, okay? Goldberg blitzes Lesnar again and eliminates him. Real easily, okay?
Yeah.
But then Goldberg is himself really easily eliminated by Undertaker.
And then, yeah, and like Goldberg and Undertaker did like a stare down and stuff, and it was like, are these two gonna have a match?
If the point of making Goldberg look super strong, shouldn't he be like eliminated by 3 people or something? Undertaker just chucked them out. And then Undertaker was just eliminated by Reigns. It wasn't like they didn't make Undertaker look strong. They just made everyone look weak. Because if the whole point of the Goldberg-Lesnar thing is that, well, Goldberg is just too good for Lesnar, he can destroy him every time, and then Goldberg just gets eliminated like real easily. It wasn't the whole. This is something that's brought up to me as well. Is the whole point of the storyline was that Goldberg beat Lesnar at Survivor Series, and then on the first Raw, was it the first Raw of 2017, that Goldberg came out and said he had one more title run left in him, so he was entering the Royal Rumble, which he did. He lost, so he didn't get the title. So what's the motivation of him fighting Brock Lesnar again? Because he's beaten him twice now. Why is he fighting him a third time? Would it not make more sense if Lesnar
he's gonna win the title?
Is he that?
He's gonna beat Kevin Owens for the Universal title.
But Lesnar didn't win the Rumble or anything.
Doesn't matter.
I guess it doesn't matter because it's two brands.
You've got to have a match at Elimination Chamber, so...
Yeah, and
is that SmackDown? Is that Raw?
Yeah, no, the Raw one is Fastlane.
Oh God.
And we already know that Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt are main eventing WrestleMania anyway. So there's that. So yeah, well, that was another thread I actually liked. I did like Luke Harper lariating Bray Wyatt. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Luke Harper's brilliant.
Luke Harper's good. So anyway, so Brock comes in. He throws the lads around. That was fun. He threw the lads around. That was good crack. Goldberg came out, killed him, threw him out again. Then now Goldberg, to his credit, you know, his face looks old, but he looks like he's in the condition of his life. So that's fine. Although the problem is, he comes in, he spears Brock, he throws Brock out. Then he has to like improvise and do some stuff on the ropes for a few minutes just to kill time, and it's like, oh my god, he can't do anything other than just spear people because he just doesn't have a clue what he's doing. So that was rough. Then Undertaker came out, and Undertaker, this was the oldest, saddest Undertaker has ever looked.
Yeah, he's got a big gut now.
Yeah,
which he whipped out as well. Pulled the straps down, got his belly out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's not the Undertaker of SummerSlam 2004. That's for sure.
No, and so he not only did he not look in great shape, but he was just moving really bad. The old thing of Nigel McGuinness running into Hulk Hogan's fist was happening a lot. He took a spear from Reigns, and it looked dreadful. It did. And it was like, all right, well, this is an ongoing thing. He's been progressively getting, you know, more and more beat up. Every Mania is reportedly his last. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're new to this. But that was depressing. See, I did go and search out the quotes on the old Meltzer in the 90s Twitter account, because I remembered reading these, and it was like there are like reports from going back to 1998, 1997 of like Undertaker's pretty beat up. He needs to get some work done because he's immobile. And it's like those are now 20 years old. So the fact that he's still going is in some ways incredible. But so yeah, he didn't look great. And then Roman Reigns tossed him, which I guess even though Reigns didn't win, like or my guess was Undertaker would win and Reigns would win the title. I guess that still means that match is on,
but why?
They must know that makes Reigns a heel.
Well, I got the feeling as soon as Reigns came out here that something was afoot. Like he had a little bit more of an attitude to him. Not saying that obviously that was a heel turn, but something felt a little different. Like he wasn't carrying himself the way he normally does. I'm not sure I totally buy into two people in the Rumble, one eliminates the other, therefore they have to have a match. You know, I don't kind of buy that as the reason for like why Reigns and Undertaker would have a match.
I agree, but when it's the Undertaker and he doesn't usually do the Rumble, and they have a stare down, and Reigns is like, "It's my ring now, bitch." You know, they hammered that home like, "Oh shit!" Now who is the big dog? Which was a phrase we said 20 times over the course of this broadcast. I think they were super hamming it up in that direction.
So you'd have to think Reigns would be the heel for that in that case. But
I mean that's the thing, because even if you don't make him the heel, he will be the heel. I mean you don't have a say in that, you know.
Especially if they're going to have him feud with Strowman. He's surely stay babyface for that at least.
So that's the other thing, is that if they're not doing the Undertaker match, and that makes Braun the WrestleMania match, first of all, that sucks. That match sucks. And second of all, who does Undertaker face then? at Mania.
I mean, I'm just
let's leave aside fantasy booking that I don't think they're bringing in Samoa Joe. You know, I don't think any of that's happening.
I'm just perplexed by their continuing, reluctance to do Undertaker Cena. I mean, isn't that the obvious one that you still haven't done? Yeah. Like, of all the dream matches you could do, isn't that the one? While Undertaker can still, like, as we see every year, he's less and less able to keep doing this. So why not do it while he can still wrestle before he can't do it? Then it's gone forever, and you'll be in another, Austin Hogan situation where we never got the match. Or CM Punk Austin. We never got CM Punk Austin. We never got Taker Cena. Not properly. We did in like 2003 or whatever. But
yeah, not in the main event sense. Yeah.
Like, why don't they just do it? Do it this year. Do John Cena, The Undertaker. There you go. Bada boom. Reigns can go with Strowman.
Do it this year before Undertaker degrades any further.
Before he actually dies, let's do Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's unfortunate. Hey, look, you know what? Maybe they will. Maybe Strowman and Reigns will have a match, and they will send Taker back to SmackDown, and because I mean, obviously, it seems obvious, but of course I think Bray is winning the Chamber, and the title match for SmackDown is not going to involve Cena. So, and that's interesting too. I mean, because that's definitely happening. So maybe Taker Cena is happening though, because with that all said, Cena then doesn't have a match for Mania.
I'm just looking at the last 2 years of WrestleMania. Okay. So last year, WrestleMania 32, you had Undertaker defeat Shane McMahon.
Great match.
And of course Cena was injured. He was just in the little thing with The Rock. The year before you had John Cena and Rusev and Undertaker Bray Wyatt instead of doing John Cena Undertaker. So that was worth it.
Oh, that Bray Wyatt match was such a waste of time that year.
The John Cena Rusev match didn't really do much for them either. WrestleMania 30, John Cena Bray Wyatt and Undertaker Brock Lesnar. And that's when the streak was still a thing. You could have done Cena Undertaker then.
I mean, that was the moment to do it for sure.
Anyway. And then one thing we didn't even talk about. Yeah, Orton then won the Rumble at the end.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, Randy Orton won the Rumble.
It's just such a weird shot. He's so lukewarm.
Yeah, he's been in a mid-card tag team on SmackDown for the last 4 months.
Yeah, and it's like I find it like mildly interesting. I'm like, okay, they worked really hard to make it look like he was on their team, and they've done a bit of dissension. And it's like, okay, as someone who doesn't really like the Wyatts, I'm like, all right, this isn't bad. I like SmackDown. This is a decent story, but to take that and then make it the Royal Rumble winning WrestleMania main event program is like, considering whether we like it or not, and I really don't. All the part-timers were 10 times more over than this. The Taker, the Lesnar, the Goldberg. They were the stars of the match, But
I thought this would be the moment as well where you have Orton finally kind of turn on Bray and reveal that it was a ruse the whole time, and because in my own head, what the storyline has been is Orton couldn't beat the Wyatts because the numbers game, and that he joined them and actually caused them to kind of split from the inside. So you had on the show, Harper hit Wyatt with the lariat, like we said, and I thought then eventually what would happen is Orton would turn on Wyatt and kind of reveal that he was never part of the team, and he had split them up from the inside, and then he maybe eliminates Bray and wins the Rumble. But no, instead of that, they did nothing. And they'll probably just reveal on a SmackDown or something that Orton is against Wyatt now for some reason, and they'll never explain really why he joined the Wyatts or what that whole thing was, because fuck it, they can't be arsed.
Yeah.
So Orton won, and I kind of went, oh, okay. But like I said, I enjoyed the Rumble for the most part. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was probably average. Wasn't that bad?
It didn't have the excitement. Like last year had the debut of Styles, I thought like a Samoa Joe or something could at least have been that kind of like a moment that you hark back to and go, well, that was when that happened. There was really nothing like that on this show. Unless Ty Dillinger goes on to win the WWE title this year or something.
I think he will.
Probably will. He probably win it
on
10 times. He'll be catching up with Cena at this rate. No, I mean, the thing that this year, Rumble, the AJ Styles Cena match was, far and away the best thing. It was fantastic. Rumble was alright.
Yeah, so that is the Royal Rumble, and Raw tonight. Next, or I suppose this week's show, we can talk about the fallout. I know they're doing a Seth Rollins Stephanie angle on this week's show, so we'll see. Hopefully, we'll have some clarity after Monday and Tuesday. Also, there's only 2 weeks to Elimination Chamber. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
So I guess they'll have that full card on Tuesday.
Most likely.
You would hope so. At the very least, the participants in the match. Anyway, so yeah, we'll talk about all that on Sunday.
We'll also have an OTT review. By God.
Yeah, on Sunday we will be chatting about the over-the-top wrestling event me and Paul are going to. They haven't really announced a whole lot more since we previously talked about it. Main event, obviously, Mr. Matthew Riddle, winner of the Ultimate Fighter 7, will face the finalist of the WWE UK tournament, the Progress champion, the OTT's No Limits champion, Pete Dunne, in the main event. That is going to be bonkers. I cannot wait to see that. Also, Jordan Devlin from the UK Championship Tournament versus Speedball Mike Bailey, PWG fame, currently banned from the US, unfortunately. Which is a bummer.
Born in Iran?
No, he was born. He was born in good old Canada, but
Canada.
He wasn't on the old up and up when he was going across the border. So he's
illegal.
I believe he has like 3 more years, which is unfortunate. But he's getting bookings in the UK and Japan, so fair play to him. So yeah, I can't wait to see him in person. He's one of my faves from PWG, which is cool. Also appearing, we got Mark Andrews. They just confirmed just the small hours of this morning, Mark Haskins, who who returned at Progress actually on Sunday. He's now cleared to wrestle, which is great. That was a scary situation for him there a couple months ago. So he's cleared to wrestle and straight away announced for OTT this weekend, which is cool. So he'll be there. Eddie Kingston will be there. Tyler Bate. They've promised surprises, so I'm very, very excited. Me and Paul will have an old chinwag about that on Sunday, along with the Royal Rumble fallout. Follow us on the social media, twitter.com/thebarryline and Paul Griffin CSP for updates on OTT as it happens on Saturday. Very much looking forward to it. So, yeah, all that will be happening next week. We'll also have Moving Off TV, got all the other usual features, lads. You know what to expect. Send us an email, go to ChairShotPodcast.com. Send us 20 questions if you want us to do it, and we will. Or any other
If you don't want us to do it because you hate it, then don't send one in.
Feel free to not bother. That is absolutely an option. I won't fight you for that. So, with all that said, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for listening, as always. Subscribe, share, review, all that other jazz. We'll go on the YouTube or Paul uploads. That'll be fun. And yeah. So until then, it's goodbye from me, Barry Murphy. Bye. It's goodbye from Paul Griffin.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye, Mr. Joe Towder.
Bye. 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 Bye.